Throw gang, we are joined by the hiker head honcho, Lawrence Schlossman, and myself, all my espadrillers on violence, James Harris. Welcome to the weekly Running with the Boys, with today's full episode only available on
www.throwingfits.com.
Before we get into having your fit get clowned twice in 1 week, fucking shameful performance on my part, acquiring a Grail John, and whether or not that's underwhelming or not.
Yeah.
And the Heady boys hitting stateside, which is... Okay, whatever. We'll get into it. Let's get into a fit check.
All right. Speaking of the Grails sometimes acquiring you, on the feet, I have on some, I don't know, they're not vintage Prada hikers. They made these.
What year are they from?
I think they're from 2019. They made a similar version. Maybe you would say a superior version the prior year in 2018.
Very seasonally appropriate on this 72-degree sunny day.
Yeah.
Here in New York City.
I don't have crazy sweaty feet, so it's not a huge issue for me to like get my money's worth, but a Grail was finally acquired. I've been lusting after some version of these Prada hikers for a long time. Actually, the funniest...
How long? Oh, since 2018, 2019?
Yeah, since they probably came out. And I got a great fucking steal. Shout out our friend of the show, Luke Frazier of Luke's NYC. Yes. It's funny how many people are... And this is where the parasocial relationship rears its sentimental head. A lot of people were congratulating me on spending my money on these because they've known that I've wanted them for a long time, which is crazy. Because
and this is like a huge accomplishment in your life relative to your other accomplishments.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Buying clothes.
The bar is pretty low.
Congrats, Lawrence. You were able to buy something you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't really have like a lot of Grails. And at the risk of sounding rude, there's this part of me that views the pursuit of Grails is kind of like broke boy behavior, because it's like if you want it and it's something that's not like a Grail, like a Paul Newman Rolex or something, like you could feasibly get it if you have the funds.
If it's available.
Yeah.
Which that's the whole thing, right? Like these never popped up in your size. So like the hunt is the fun part.
I see. And
the pursuit, the destination, the journey.
Is that...
It's the journey, not the destination.
Right. I completely disagree in terms of Grail hunting. I almost want something to just pop up right in front of me that is readily available for purchase, that hopefully is affordable, that I'm like, oh, I need this. And maybe that's impulsive, but I'd rather do that than like have this laundry list of like boxes I'm trying to tick off, of which these were one. But here we are. I got them and they're great.
How do you feel?
It's not an A-press thing with the hoodie where I'm like, oh, what the fuck did I do?
How many times have you worn that hoodie since you bought that $600 hoodie for yourself?
It's not really the weather for it, but I was wearing it consistently. I was trying to get my cost per wear down.
What? You should become
a couple $100.
You should become nocturnal when it's warm out, so that you can just like enjoy the 55-degree 4 a.m.s, which I guess maybe you are.
I don't know. A pointed hood when the sun's not up, not necessarily the best call.
Yeah, only when it's up though. Keep it down.
I know, and I have been keeping it down.
Become a morning runner.
In my A-Press A hoodie?
Yeah. Change your whole life just to be able to wear this hoodie.
Yeah. Anyway, the Grails are here. They're great. I got an awesome deal. I've been wearing them nonstop. And with Prada shoes specifically, I think the reason that a lot of these kind of boots or similar footwear items become Grails is because the sizing is so crazy. So it's like you might see something, you're like, oh, that's my size, but it's like not actually your size. So these are a little big, with all of that being said.
So you got to wear extra thick socks in the hot, steamy summer months.
And would you have a Grail real quick while we're on the subject?
I don't think so. And
you've talked about a few over the years that you've acquired.
Yeah. And it feels great. And like, I feel like Grails typically are more like showpieces.
Sure.
Like very out there, very, kind of like, oh, I'll wear this on like New Year's Eve or whatever.
Right.
Or like, I don't know, my fucking wedding or whatever. I don't know.
I'm going to wear these Prada hikers with a tuxedo.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past you. So I don't know. I think like, I went to my Grailed like saves, and it's really just kind of stuff that I really wanted in the moment. And then looking back now, I'm like, or like, oh, it's sold. Okay.
But they're not like things that you impulsively buy. You saved them, but you didn't like transact. So that exactly. So that's kind of like the point that almost proves that there's nothing wrong with like regular things that you like, but like this idea of like, I need to get it now because this is such a rarefied John that someone else is going to like get it. Like that mentality, I think is definitely bad for shopping.
The only time I made
the worst purchases you probably would ever make.
the last time I made like an impulsive purchase on something that it was more about like it's like significance as like a piece of history. That's history right there. Was the Stussy short sleeve button up shirt that ripped the Louis,
right?
Like what's it called? Like
monogram
pattern.
Yeah.
And they got a C&D in like 1988 or some shit.
Have you ever worn that? I know you got it recently.
No, because it's so ugly.
Have you tried to flip it?
No, I will wear it this summer. I mean, it hasn't been the weather for it.
Fair. Short sleeve button down, right?
Short sleeve button down. It is button up. It is so ugly. It's like it's like a pale brown with like mustard yellow,
right.
Stussy double S lockup.
It's Crooks and Castles coated.
It's pretty shitty. So like, I gotta wear it like.
It's pretty fucking shitty.
I just want to wear it in the right context, my wedding. But yeah, that was more like, oh shit, this is like important. Like it would be cool to like own this. And that is, it's ugly, but it's also like if you know, you know. I don't know if I have a grail, to be honest. I really don't know. And
it's probably better that you don't.
I don't know if that's like age or like mentality or approach towards like clothing and ownership of and consumption has changed and developed or evolved past like, oh, like I need that thing that's just out of my reach.
It's going to fix me. These shoes are going to fix me.
Yeah. And it's like, not getting your grail. It's like, hey, guess what? Life's still good.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't able to get that fucking whatever. Let's just say like, I don't know, like a Visvim robe, 15 years ago. Life went on.
Died with dead beetles, killed ethically or something. And I will say part of this is on me because there's a version of this boot
you didn't even get the grail that
has a toe cap that has these pops of colors, whether it's red, yellow, or green. And people tax on those like crazy. And those I don't think have popped up in the various range of Prada sizes that would fit me. So I did kind of like get these as a placeholder. So if anyone has those versions and wants to help me to continue to dig myself deeper in this hole,
exploit this man's addiction,
holler at me. With that said, shout out Luke. They're pretty worn, so these didn't like break the bank or anything. And I'm happy with the purchase. And
so you're in the immediate after you just got your grail nut off. Like, did you have post nut clarity? Where you're like, you know what, like,
Post-Grail Clarity.
Yeah,
that's a good title. Yeah, to the point where I'm like, did I need another pair of hiking boots? No. Did I need I have a Prada, the Chelsea kind of Bluntstone flip on this like Brixton style already. So did I need another pair of Prada boots? No. Are these seasonally appropriate? No. Did I spend any amount of money where I'm really regretting this? No. So I think that we're kind of like breaking even in terms of like my emotional result.
You got a pair of shoes.
I got boots. We say all that to say Larry got boots. The more things change, the more things stay the same as per usual. The socks.
These boots were made for fit checks.
It's almost like I got these so I can wear them on the pod. That is sad as fuck.
It is.
God damn, I'm a sad individual.
You are. What are the socks?
The socks are slouch socks by our friend Cam Hicks. The jeans, which
you have to wear your thickest socks because these boots are not the right size.
A Prada 10 is really like a 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So I needed thick socks. Also, like they're pretty choked because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be like the hiking boots and shorts guy, but I'm going to be different from all the other boys because mine are going to be the Prada grails. And then do they look does this look crazy? With my chicken legs, like, or does it look? I mean, okay, I know you hate the socks, but like, does it look bad
with your legs?
Do they look like too big for my body?
Yeah,
that's what I'm okay. Well, I should have not expected a compliment from you on my physical attributes.
You asked me the question you already knew the answer to.
The jeans are Our Legacy Workshop, creamy carpenter jeans.
Emporio Armani?
No, but this will be the last pod. This will be the last pod.
I say two in Swedish.
In Sweden? Well, what's Italian is part doppio.
Due.
A little
doppio's double.
Collab doppio. This will be the last pod we put out before the drop of what will presumably be the collab of the year, Emporio Armani times Our Legacy Workshop, a lock, as Jimmy just said. That'll be out this Friday. What do you think, dude?
I will be making a purchase.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what you're getting.
I will be doing some gender bending.
Oh, here we go.
Some queer baiting. They call me the master queer baiter.
Yes, they do.
So I really like, okay, again, this is like maybe this is like the new type of like Grail mentality.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this at any cost, like, and not really thinking about like if it's sensible, if it makes sense, what the cost per wear is, if it's like versatile. That comes with yeah. So I kind of want to get the pinstripe Speedo.
Of course you do.
To wear as underwear, and give myself a yeast infection.
Yeah.
Definitely get some, because I feel like, like wearing a Speedo underneath like jeans as the guy in the, that's the styling movie.
Oh, is that what inspired you?
Which looks fucking fire.
The lookbook?
Yeah, the lookbook, for sure.
Gotcha.
Definitely going to acquire with that a yeast infection. So, hopefully.
You're going to wash them, no?
Yeah, but I feel like having like, wearing like a synthetic fabric like that in like the streets of New York with jeans on top and like extra friction, extra rubbing.
So is the play for...
I'm no baker, but I think there will be a sourdough starter in my foreskin by August 15th.
The bodily fluids will have risen. Wait, so are you going to like wear it with a shirt like we're both kind of wearing today and you like keep it like artfully, tastefully, sluttily unbuttoned to show off like some saggage?
I don't know. I like the hoodie. I like the, the fucking Bape, I guess, influence, like full zip hoodie.
Is it Bape?
I don't know if I need another hoodie, although I did lose my Arlagache Workshop hoodie on the flight back from Madrid.
Yeah.
What else?
Wait, real quick with the underwear. So is that, I've seen a lot of IG styling, so not real life, but this idea of like the hot Skinner boy who is already in a crop tee, he's now adding artfully, displayed like boxers or like and obviously the Speedo is has much less fabric than a boxer, but the fact that it's like striped, like they're showing off their underwear, like to add an element of layering in like the lower half of their fit. Is that like a trend for the fitties?
I think it harks back to like the 2000s, like male R&B singer, like Marky Mark. Kind of like the W words that have like really infiltrated culture, which we're going to talk about at some point soon when I have synthesized all the information without saying the word itself.
We were talking about the Wigga Renaissance.
Wigga.
Yes, I said.
Wigga.
That's what I said.
Yeah. The Wiggassance.
So you think it's completely like another Y2K?
Wig it out, man.
it's a Y2K like holdover.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking wear a crop top, but like I don't know. I was with this past weekend. I was with a bunch of homies, a bunch of homo homies upstate, celebrating a birthday, and a lot of them are in fashion, and they're just like, they dress great, they look great, and like they've always kind of just, I don't know, that's been a move of theirs. So maybe I'll appropriate the gays once again.
I like it in theory. I think it's like hot. I mean, I don't think I have the physique for it, but if I did, I kind of like, because that's the thing. We've always talked about how summer dressing really, we just talked about it on the last afters. It really separates the men from the boys in terms of like getting fits off, because you just have less at your disposal. And this being like a crucial element of layering in a season with like no layering, I kind of get it. Which also I will say, back to Emporio Armani, Our Legacy Part 2. Kudos to both of these incredible brands for dropping a collab during a season in which like there's just like less clothes to sell, right? When they did the drop one or any collection that comes out in fall, like a fall winter season, there's just more like banger pieces because of like coats and layers and knitwear and like all the obvious stuff you wear. Whereas when you do it in summer, there's just less garms at your disposal. So the fact that this like still hit and did a really good job of like synthesizing the POV of the two brands, I think, and this is me being a super fan and an obvious glazer, I think just speaks volumes to like how this partnership is like a can't miss whenever they drop, even if it's during spring, summer.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my fucking point.
Shout out all the stock homies and
Giorgio. We'll see you at the drop.
All right, what else are you wearing?
Oh, the pleaser is CK1 Palace,
bro. The beater.
The guinea tee is CK1 Palace.
Greasy wop rag.
The greasy wop rag is CK1 Palace. The button up is Colbo. The hat is merch from friend of the show, Tim Robinson's new movie in theaters now, Friendship. The hat says male friendship, which I think is and
a big old A24 on the back.
Well, you
wear it backwards, bro.
Yeah, I had a principal in like elementary school that like banned wearing your hat backwards as became part of the dress code, and he would stop hot dogging it. That's what he would call it. Which, like, I don't know what.
Sounds very so.
I was gonna say, what is that like? I don't even know Did you ever hear that? Hot dogging?
Yeah, in like sports, it's like yo, he's hot dogging.
It's like
and it was like dog whistle where it's like, oh, there goes Deion Sanders high stepping and hot dogging.
Look at that thug hot dogging it type shit. Well, no, I'm just imitating
sure, buddy.
My principal, whose name I can't remember. No, I will not be hot dogging the 824 logo. I'll stick with the male friendship again. I'm hearing a lot of movie of the year rumblings and grumblings from the people who have gotten the theaters early to support. I'm serious. You should see it in theaters, dude.
Why in theaters? Just because like it's
you got to go with your boys. It's a group. It's going to be one of these Step Brothers, Anchorman style, like quotable.
Maybe
classics.
I'll see it with my friend Timmy R.
Yeah. Shout out Tim. Congrats on the new flick. The underwear are Skims. The sunglasses are 316, rolling on the wrist, wettering on the fingy, wavy on the pinky, chrome on the other hand. What Zin flavor
is that?
The Zin today is icy black currant. Currant?
Yeah.
Extra strong, double X.
What's extra strong about it?
This 12.5 milligrams.
Oh.
You want to smell this one? You're going to hate this. I know we love making James smell disgusting Zins.
Ugh.
Yeah, good shit, right? That's how you know it's good. You might need to work on your breath work, my friend.
It smells like a fucking it smells like a Microsoft Creative Suite. You know, it's like it smells like smoked emails.
You know what? I think I'm actually look at the time. I think Larry's
gonna do two.
Well, this one's running out. Did I say the underwear is Skims? Yeah, I think I did everything. All right, toss it to you, bud. You're up.
All right. I'm also wearing Prada shoes. Vintage espadrilles.
Let me see those. Can I peep those bad boys?
Yeah, with the square toe.
Are those crushable?
I believe so.
To what year are these? Are these like a 90s?
I don't know. They're from Ending Soon, great vintage store, kind of like right over here on Broome, I think, right next to Eel Bar.
See, I like this because it's an espadrille, but it doesn't have that fucking rope sole. So it's not like, hey, I'm the guy in espadrilles. This is just I'm the guy in Prada.
It looks like a fucking like a camion boot like style toe just with as a slipper, like a summer style.
Fire.
The socks are J. Crew socks that I stole from one of our photo shoots. Thank you, J. Crew, for the nice brown socks. The pants are Daytime Novella. Shout out Nick, and excited to see that new collection dropping.
He's dropping heat, dude.
Yeah, just touched down.
Is this now like the most underrated if you know brand in New York
brand? Maybe,
because everything else that like a lot of stuff that we're wearing today or we wanted to pass, like we justifiably have put it on a pedestal and is now, I think we've done our part, a small part in kind of projecting it to the masses. I feel like Daytime Novella is still like this uncovered gem that is next up for real.
I mean, we talked about graphic tees about how it's just like a photo and like some text around it with like, I believe husbands. Who was the second example we had of it?
I don't know. You were wearing a small talk one, our legacy graphic tee recently.
Daytime Novella has a bunch of graphic tees and in a previous season, but I think this season as well.
I want that Queen of Peace hoodie. I like that.
Yeah.
Some like cool fake Catholic Fugazi shit, like high school merch.
It's Catholicism.
Who's the Queen of Peace? The Virgin Mary?
Magdalene.
The Prost?
Mary.
Mary Magdalene?
Virgin Mary.
But you said
Virgin Mary.
Okay. Yeah. The
I think Queen of Peace. I looked it up because I was like, maybe going to buy it. I was like, what does this mean? Let me like look this up before I put on some shit that like, I don't know what it means.
We got to check in with Bob, dude.
I think it just means like,
see what the deal is.
Yeah. It's my top driller.
Yeah. Honestly, number one driller worldwide.
My Roman driller.
Bobby.
He's like weirdly, he's like, oh, for my papacy, I will be focusing on AI.
What? Wait, really?
Yeah.
How? What?
What if the Pope did AI?
Okay. Big picture. Couldn't AI low key be like a horseman of the apocalypse? When you think of Terminator, ever seen it? Little documentary about the future, Skynet. Like,
let me log into Chat GPT.
Okay.
Use about 9 bottles of water to ask a question.
Yeah. This is smart. Let's holler at him.
Fuck, I've never logged in on this computer. Well, okay, I'll use my phone.
Yeah. And let me just buy some time for you. I think that AI, it could be a good focus of the Pope because it is legitimately scary and going to change the world. I think presumably for the worse, if it hasn't already. I should maybe say worst. I'm scared, dude. I don't use AI at all. I personally do not have ChatGPT on my phone. I do not partake.
I use it all the time. Okay, you are playing the role of the new Pope. How can I be a good Catholic? Like, that's what like you would want to ask the Pope, right? How can I be a good Catholic?
Yeah, presumably.
Question mark. Do you believe the rumors that he was sent to Peru for sex stuff?
I heard that. Well, but I know Bob was a young pussy getting legend. I know there's some ex-girlfriends that have come out the woodwork. So like if he was smashing women his own age, why would he need to fuck boys who are younger? But that low key does kind of track. I would ship a pedophile off to a foreign land as well if I was the papacy.
Okay, so Pope GPT says, my child, being a good Catholic is not about perfection. It's about devotion, discipline, and decency. Here's the straight path, no incense clouding the view. I calibrated my ChatGPT to kind of be like no bullshit.
I like that.
Just be like straightforward.
No nonsense robot butler.
Yeah. I won't read everything, but I'll read like the headline of every bullet point. Go to mass every Sunday, no excuses. This is non-negotiable. Confess regularly on your mistakes. Pray daily, not just when you want something. Build a relationship, not a wish list. Grails.
Oh my, yo, build a relationship with your grails, not a wish
with your
list.
closet, bro.
Okay.
Not a wish list of what you want. Build a relationship with what you have.
But in this case, we're talking about God.
I guess so.
Which
not just God.
And God for the throw gang are things.
Decency. Know your faith.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Live morally.
Stinker. Real stinker.
This is a tough one for you, Lawrence. Love the poor.
I was kind of out of pocket immediately off rip up top. So yeah.
Sounds like bro boy behavior. Honor the sacraments. I don't know what sacraments are. They're not rituals, they're lifelines. Be humble.
Okay, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Be humble. Oh, shit. Forgive even when it burns.
Okay.
My pee-pee. That's the whole point.
So forgive that chick that you met on Hinge who gave you a venereal disease?
Don't be a jerk in God's name. We've had enough of that. Here we go. That's the scaffolding. Build your life on it. The rest is grace. Thank you.
The rest is indeed grace.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Papa GPT.
Thank you, Papa. Go in peace, my child. And remember, God sees your effort, not just your outcome. Keep showing up.
Do you think just like how students are abusing chat GPT and ruining the academic world, do you think that like all these guys who are up for Pope like quickly hit chat GPT to get their fucking speeches down?
Priests could be like, yo, let me get a sermon on like peace and decency and just give me an hour-long sermon.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You just read that shit.
At what point are you like ready and willing to give over throwing fits to just chat GPT?
Well,
script. I know we've done it.
I'm not joking. I have been like, yo, do an intro for beep, beep, beep in the style of throwing fits.
Are you getting decent fucking bars? Maybe even just like one usable line would be like, it's making you more efficient at your job. I know you normally spend
Are we behind the paywall yet?
Yeah, it's been 22 minutes because you'll spend upwards of like a working day on an intro, which is why they hit so fucking hard and have become a signature of the only podcast that matters. I feel like this could easily streamline your workload.
Okay, it doesn't really work. Your role is James from Throwing Fits. Do an intro for Mac Hadar of H. Lorenzo, the head buyer and director of operations of H. Lorenzo.
Next week, tomorrow.
Should I just read?
Yeah.
Jimmy GPT, Jim PT,
Jim PT. Let's go, baby.
He's the mystery man behind the myth, the legend behind the racks, the underground prince of Rodeo Drive, from the hallowed halls of H. Lorenzo, where artisanal freakware meets Beverly Hills Lux. He's been blessing taste gods and goth teens alike since before you knew what a side zip boot was. He's the oracle of obscure designers, the silent assassin of West Coast retail. The reason your favorite fit pick was 4 figures deep. Woo! Put your hands together for the shadow lord of avant-garde, Mac effing Hadar.
You know how I know that robots will never be able to do the art created by humans? Because there's no D's nuts joke there. The one consistent, no D's nuts.
The asterisk in asterisk Mac effing Hadar is just a censor for the word fucking. A little nod to platforms and listeners who might not love hard profanity in writing. You can drop it if you want the full punch. Up to you. Raw or censored. Both hit.
Thanks, ChatGPT. What the fuck? This shit is whack, dude. I'm sorry.
Do it.
I get why you would use it to cheat in school. I can get that, but
I said do a D's nuts line. You want a D's nuts line worthy of James? All right, here's one fit for the pod. You know who styles all the celebs at H. Lorenzo? Who? D's nuts.
Okay, there you go.
But D's nuts draped in Rick, swinging heavy.
Okay, all right. It kind of rescued itself at the end there.
Just used a fucking gallon of water on that.
Damn, Jim GPT low-key fucking doesn't slap,
sucks,
dude.
Fucking sucks dick.
Ass.
Okay, daytime novella, snakeskin, camo jeans. The shirt is motherfucking Pen. The hat is Studio Nikki. Jill Sonder here. Bottega here. Eckhouse Loud as Sunnies. Sipping on Twist of Ass, Topo Chico, and a clean canteen of Lower East Side's finest. Let's get into another episode of the only podcast that matters. First up,
shall we?
Thank you to everyone who copped an Umbro drill top.
Yep. Word to Bob once more.
Yeah, that was I mean, we didn't have that many, right? We were working with Umbro. They kind of set the parameters of like how many we were going to get and how many we could sell.
And how they were released.
Sorry
to the Substack subscribers that expected first dibs. Unfortunately, that
and
was
how and what marketing collateral they would collab post on and what they wouldn't because of questionable legal activity on our part.
Either way, movie.
I'm gonna Umbro.
Yeah. Saw a couple of those.
Yeah, it was sick. Shout out Miles from NYU.
Bodied.
I guess he graduated maybe.
Bodied.
Anyway, yeah, thank you guys. They should be in your hands any second now.
Maybe right now as you're listening on a beautiful Tuesday.
Maybe. I hope you live forever. I'm so glad I don't have to hear where were you when we were getting fly ever again.
Yo,
we'll see you at MetLife.
Sorry, bro. I used Chat GPT for my puns. What do you want from me? Yeah. I will see you at MetLife. Oh my God, dude. Remember our original idea if the timing was different? Because obviously these came out during the around the April anniversary of that night at Main Road, I believe night 2, we were going to hit the lot at MetLife. That was a great,
we were going to sell them out the back of a whip and just film like whatever that was. We're going to vlog it.
Yeah.
You and me, we can vlog forever.
That would have been sick. I wonder if I'm really excited for what will potentially be, presumably, a really robust situation in terms of merch at those shows. But I got to imagine the bootleg game is strong at the Oasis shows for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I don't know. Do they have a big, is that a big part of the culture? The lot?
Well, merch obviously is. Speaking of grails, I know a lot of people, their grails are these amazing fucking relics from
like shirts that have the word Oasis on them
in a box. Usually. Yeah, I think bootlegs, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's a huge part of Britpop merch. So I'll see for myself. I'll do, obviously when this happens at the end of August, I'll do an extreme sick Britpop scene report, but for now all we can do is speculate. But that was a good idea. That was a really good. Ultimately, I thought our marketing was fire.
Yeah.
But that would have been great.
Loved all the love. Loved all the love. Loved all the guys being like, "Oh, this was done already." No fucking shit.
It's called an homage, you fucking dumbass.
I really don't understand. And I've learned and trained myself to ignore the comments but I just feel like those that feel the compulsion and need to comment, I know where it's from. You are showing your whole nerdy ass, right? Where it's like,
excuse me.
What satisfaction or expectation do you expect to derive from taking that action? Because it requires decisions and actions on your part to be a fucking commenter where it's like, actually.
You should learn to live with grace, like fucking Pope GPT said. I mean, there's going to be
the scaffolding.
There's going to for sure be my culture is not your costume when all we're doing is celebrating Terrace, Lad, Chav, Britpop culture. I'm sorry that 2 Americans did it better than you ever could. You can fucking suck what's the British term for
suck
penis?
My knob and bits.
Yes. Yeah.
Suck my twig and berries.
you can slob on her knob and bits all you want. The people being like, actually motherfuckers. It used to be a thing that people would do that on Twitter and get clowned. I believe it was a Jesus nice term, #actually. The fact that it's just running rampant in Instagram comments still, we need actually police, dude. We need some bobbies on the matter, bro. No. This is fucking out of control.
I actually came a little close to replying, which was just the worst you can do. But it was this, what we did was so so bulletproof in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been botting someone in the comments being like,
lady doth protest too much type shit, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. But we want to thank you guys. We're focusing on the positive.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Thank you to everyone that copped, that was able to get their hands on one. Yeah. Shout out Umbro.
Can I ask you a big question?
For sure.
What is the line between homage and ripoff? And is it just a subjective thing that it's the line is in the eye of the fucking beholder?
Well, a ripoff would be if it was a 1-for-1, if we'd sang the same song as the Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden.
Outro music?
If it was with Puma, I guess. And versus our own interpretation of it. As soon as we got off our call with Umbro, I was like, yo, Larry, I got an idea.
Great idea.
And I was like, we obviously know this. We love it. We love the that fucking bloke that did the most incredible version of it on TikTok, which the throwing fits, ripped, tagged. And made our own version of it where it's like, first day back at the bar.
Yeah.
Which then went like
after lockdown.
Crazy movie viral in its own right. But this kid, the OG, was like fucking cinema.
Geezer in the corner loving it.
Bro, geezer in the corner loving it.
That kid is a fucking genius. See, ChatGPT could never do that. That just proves my point. Like that's from God's fucking beautiful creation, the human brain.
Geezer.
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out that kid. And then it was just like, it was a no fucking brainer. So I don't know what the difference is. I think homage is like, your own interpretation of something that like nods at it, winks at it, is like you're open about it, where it's like, that was the inspiration and like OG source of it.
Yeah, the source
versus like ripping it off and like one more of a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Okay. And not like tipping your fucking newsboy Thomas Shelby cap.
Thank you to everyone at home who got
in the corner.
Thank you to everyone at home who fucking got it, who supported the marketing. I think it's some of our best work yet. Shout out to co-director James K. Harris over here.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for that was a new record sellout on product. And sorry that there was a slight delay on our end. We're working with Shopify here.
Yeah, I didn't know how to turn off the password on the website.
It is what it is, but yeah, that was like in good health.
That was 2 minutes of absolute chaos. Where I'm like, where the fuck is the password deactivator button? It was a week full of chaos, Lawrence. Absolute fucking madness, man. I went to the DMV to get my real ID on the day that like real ID shit kicked in. Apparently, like it's just madness and badness at the airports right now.
Same day that they also rolled that back.
No, they had rolled it. They didn't roll it back. Like,
well, you could still fly without a real ID.
Well, I think people are like, where is the information about this? Like, where the fucking PSA is? Like, the only place that I think there were signs about real IDs were like at the airport. And like, there's so many fucking signs. Like, no one's paying attention.
I was getting my news from Hoodville, dude, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
you ever flown with motherfuckers to the airport? Like, there are people that like don't know how to tie their own shoes. Don't fucking know how to, file, like line up. Yeah, they don't know how to queue.
Maybe wear some Velcro next time, genius.
Or some espadrilles.
Yeah.
Are you gonna wear those through security? There's a lot to get off.
No, I will not be. Well, if I was bringing these on a trip, these would be the shoes that I fly in because I don't want to pack them because they weigh 100 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway,
maybe you'll finally bust out. Of,
so you went
chicken leg life.
You went to the DMV for the first time in how long? Because I had my driver's license when I finally became a real New Yorker and got my New York ID. My shit is just a real ID. I probably got it within the past, 2 years.
This was issued in 2023.
What? It's not a real ID?
But it was just like, it was just mailed to me.
Yeah, you don't have, you have where yours says not for federal purposes. We should probably cover this up. Also, amazing picture every time.
Oh yeah, I'm 16 in that photo.
Where you have the not for federal purposes, I have a chip or some shit. I don't know. It's like a heart. I don't know. It's something.
Are you an organ donor?
Yeah, I think so. Everyone should be.
Are you?
All right, let me get my license.
Oh, no. It's fine. It's fine.
All right,
it's all the way over there.
We could kill time. It's right in my
all right,
Patrick Johnson tote.
I was like, fuck. Let me get a appointment as fast as I can. Unfortunately, the earliest I could get it, and this is like early April.
That means it's real ID.
The star?
Yeah.
Organ donor.
Yeah. I'm not lying. I think everyone.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Other fucking next level shit, dude, because my ID is good to go. Don't look at that.
Let me tell you, bro.
Hold on, can I move my Go Yard wallet away?
What?
Can I move my Go Yard wallet out of frame?
Yeah, sure. Why are you?
I was just being a jerk.
Absolute fucking chaos at the DMV. You know what I used ChatGPT for? I said, what do I need to bring to my real ID appointment? And I'd heard stories. I saw a headline like some guy in the Bronx threatened to blow up the DMV with a bomb because he had to wait 4 hours. He got so angry. He's like, I'm gonna fucking set off a bomb up in this bitch.
Justifiable, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So I downloaded movies. I brought a book.
Smart.
I thought I was gonna get work done. Ultimately, I'm not gonna lie, it only took me 30 minutes to get in and out, but the most stressful 30 minutes I've had. Like, I'm pouring sweat. Even though I used ChatGPT to tell me what I need, which was like, you fill out the form. You have to bring a passport. You have to bring a social security, your OG social security card. Do you know where that is? Yours is
in a safety deposit box or some shit.
What is it?
Like in my parents' safety deposit box or something. I don't
like in a bank.
Oh wait, no, that's not true. It was, and then Jenna was like, "This is pretty churlish. You should probably have this." So I actually have it in the crib now. I do have my OG.
Do you have like a fireproof box of documents?
No, I think it just sits in my passport until I use my passport. Then I pull it out and throw it in a drawer, which is not that smart.
Yeah, it's not like a drawer next to my bed. It's like my passport, some like extra like pesos and yen, and then in the drawer below it, just like condoms.
Just some knock around currency.
Yeah, it's just like leftover shit and like my passport. And then like a bank statement or a gas bill or a utilities bill or a cable bill.
Proof of address.
Proof of address. Proofs of address.
Yeah.
Get them all together, throw them in a folder. Moving like Larry, forget the folder at home.
Oh, come on, dude. What's wrong with you?
And when I realized that, and like, I get there half hour early.
Before they open.
No. I get there 1 p.m. My appointment's at 1:30.
Oh, your appointment. Got it.
There's a fucking line out the door. There's people that are like, what? I got to fill out a form. There's a poor security guard outside just being like, yeah, like here's the form. You got to fill this out before I can like let you in.
Right.
People are like, I got to go back to work. There's like old people that are like fucking wandering around, not knowing what's going on. There's like, people with ESL. So like, it's hard to communicate with them with this like just security guard.
See,
people just trying to like force their way in. People like, I have an appointment. People like, I need an appointment.
It's a club, dude.
It's the fucking club. I get in.
The worst club ever.
I'm not going to, okay. All the stereotypes about DMV employees, I think are absolute bullshit now.
They're not
absolute bullshit. These people are the real heroes.
Okay.
Just like next, like boom, this is what you need. You don't got that? Here, I got you. This is what you need. Here's a pen. Here's like the email address you email the PDFs to.
Booth full of closers.
I got my photo taken. I think I had huge pit stains. My hair was all fucking crazy.
You didn't get to approve it? Don't you get you?
No.
Don't you get one alternate?
Yeah, one. I think I smiled. I don't know.
I thought they show you and then you get one more. I guess they moved past that. It's too crazy. They cut the jobs.
There's literally, because it's New York, there's like people like there's like an African guy having like a French interpreter speak to him. There's like people speaking fucking like Urdu over there. There's like, again, old people, young people. It's fucking nuts. It is so stressful. The numbers are up there. Your number they're like, if you don't go to when your number's called, you have 30 seconds or like you're cut.
There's a timer.
It's fucking crazy. But shout out to the DMV, making it somewhat easy.
Well, one question is, did that woman actually rip ass?
The tweet that I posted?
But then you put up a picture, or is that the picture was in the tweet?
What?
What is the meme about the woman ripping ass in the DMV? And was that not?
I don't know. I saw that tweet like earlier that day. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to the DMV.
I must have just closed it too quick. I thought that you were implying that like there was a tweet about the person ripping ass, and then you were showing your own fucking culprit that ripped ass in the DMV. But I guess I'm conflating one tweet with your lived experience. So nobody farted. Did you fart in the DMV?
Probably.
Did you bring any snacks? You allowed to bring food?
I brought a big thing of water.
Okay.
I'm sure you can bring food if you want. Farted so loud in the DMV that they in here talking about let him go next he shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
If anyone needs it, the email address that you email your utility bill and whatever to is dmv.sm.license.express-dmv@dmv.ny.gov.
Oh, that's super easy to remember.
Yeah, just ask chat Jimmy PT.
Dude.
That was fucking chaos. Here's some more chaos, more closer to the John's world. All this talk about tariffs, right, which we've mentioned before, but we now have a personal experience with it where obviously we make the only cut and sew that matters.
Facts.
And we are putting the final touches on some shirts for the summer, right? We weren't going to talk about this, but I think it is relevant.
Absolutely.
And kind of like I don't know, good example of like the chaos. This is the chaos corner that retailers, brands, everyone in the fashion industry is going through right now with these tariffs. No one knows fucking shit about what is going on.
It's completely unclear.
And it's not anyone's fault. So like when we make these shirts with a factory in India, they're like, here's how much it costs per shirt if you make this MOQ, minimum order quantity.
Yes.
And then it goes down if you order more, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
They're like, here's the price per shirt based on this MOQ. However, that quote did not take into account the tariffs that will range anywhere between 10% and 26%. And I'm like,
it's quite a range, guys.
Like, okay, can you give us an updated quote? And they're like, okay, well, here's what it would look like at 10%. Here's what it look like at an increase of 26%, because using DDP, duties due on whatever.
Exports?
Well, DDP is like they pay the customs tariffs and taxes and whatever and fees, and then we pay them.
Yes.
Versus COD, cash on delivery, which we would have to pay customs to like release them.
Yeah.
And the difference from 10% to 26% is so fucking crazy that it's
astounding.
Like, it's
obviously.
like okay, but like the 10% one feels okay. 26% one is a little fucking pricey.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but so it's anywhere between, this is the 10% one, the 26% one. It's anywhere between these, and we're not going to know what it is until and I felt there was some shade thrown in there, some justified shade. Like the U.S. government has not come to a decision on what it's going to be.
Yeah, we don't know. We tell you, but we do not know.
And it's like, all right, in making a decision on how many to order, how to price them, how to like spend extra money on like marketing and distribution and like getting them into the hands of Throw Gang and the only customers that are, we need the numbers and the information to make an informed decision, and we cannot make an informed decision because the information is not set. It's fucking wild that literally the answer is just like, we do not know.
Yeah, there is no answer. And we've been throwing around chaos. I mean, the operative word here is just general confusion for everyone involved. Mac Hadar talks about this a bunch tomorrow as a retailer. And it's crazy to hear that like this storied retailer in its 40th year that is a fucking bastion of swag and good taste in LA. This guy has no idea. And you believe him when he says that. And then, you know, literally the same exact problem affects us, and nobody knows from us, the fucking designer / retailer of this thing, to the fucking factory itself. So it's just a giant fucking question mark hanging over us, trying to figure out our already like razor thin margins, because we try to, because we're DTC, keep these prices as reasonable as possible, especially for like the quality of the shit we put out. And we have no idea how much prices are going to increase whatsoever. And we won't know until we fucking pay for them.
I don't know. And
it's crazy.
Luckily for us, because like designing and selling clothing is not our full-time thing.
Right.
Or it's part of our full-time thing. It's not our only thing. You know, I think we have a bit of a luxury to like eat the cost, to not pass on the cost to the customers, and raise shirts from like 180 or 185 to like whatever, 10% or 26% on top of that.
26% is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that is like very much a potential fucking threat. That we are facing a threat here at Throwing Fits HQ, and that threat is 26% pricing.
Okay, 26%, a $185 shirt would become $233.
That's a whole different shirt. It's a completely different shirt. It should have long sleeves at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
so imagine what it's like for a brand that their entire operation is making clothes, and they don't have a fucking incredibly successful podcast to lean back on.
No, they don't.
Right? Or like incredibly
don't.
Successful brand partnership division to further complement their revenue.
If they have a podcast, it probably stinks. Come on now.
Anyway, just like a nice little kind of like insider glimpse into like the absolute madness and badness that actual brands and actual retailers are going through.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, their whole shit is just like thrown into fucking one giant question mark. And then like it changes every day.
Yeah.
Right? It was 145% on China. Now it's down to 30% on a 90-day pause as they like negotiate.
Shout out Geneva, dude.
Chaos everywhere.
It is ensuing as we speak, guys.
That being said, Lawrence, I got a little bone to pick.
I love this new, like you come with a weekly rant, dude. This is good shit. It's good podcasting. The SIG shit. Real quick, were you surprised at the amount of interest surrounding your take on SIGs as this performative crutch?
I didn't really want to read all the comments because I'm sure they were just like, this fucking
nerd.
Pussy. Yeah. But it was like,
pussy.
It was kind of only illustrative of my point where people are like, what the fuck? SIGs fucking rock, bro. Fuck this guy, is what I imagine most of them were like, where it's like, okay, fucking relax. Like it's like a cigarette.
Well, the funnier thing is,
I had many a cheeky cig over the weekend, and enjoy cheeky cig from time to time, but it's like, I'm not like, yo, you know what it is? And I forgot to mention this. The way that people pose with cigs, whether it's like editorial or personal, or are like, yeah, fuck yeah, cigs. It's the same shit as like throwing up your middle fingers in a photo. Bro.
Ooh, great call.
It's like fucking badass shit, bro. Look, is he saying fuck you to the camera? That's fucking badass.
Yeah, dude. No one can hold me. I do what I want. The funniest thing to me was, and this is just emblematic of, you put something out there that's removed from the greater context of the pod. Robbie's doing his best job to cut our rants and make them fucking digestible. The people that miss the point on the complete opposite spectrum, which is just like, yeah, cigs are so bad. They're gross. They're disgusting. It's like the guy said that cigs are basically said cigs are still cool. But
I said 2 seconds in.
It's not anti-cig.
2 seconds in. 2 seconds in. This is not anti-cig. This guy's so anti-cig.
Yeah, they watched clearly their watch through rate was 1 second. That was funny to me, where it is people being like, yeah, cigs are fucking gross and bad for you. I agree. It's like, well, okay, well, you also missed the point.
Or are you gonna be looking cool in a photo when you're dying of lung cancer? I mean, probably not, but like,
Yeah, I mean, you could for sure.
If you throw up middle fingers.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't talk, but my fans are saying fuck you.
Yeah. I lived, bitch.
All right. Here's something. Okay, so we were included in Emily Sundberg on her Feed Me newsletter did like a where do men shop?
Yeah.
Or where do you get your shopping advice or like fashion style advice from? And our name came up a bunch, but it was always followed with a caveat where it's like, I appreciate what I learned from Throwing Fits, but all the shit they talk about or wear is too expensive. Brother, bro, anonymous fucking newsletter reader guy. And all you fucks out there that are thinking the same thing. In the grand scheme of menswear, you and I think, sit squarely in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
The affordable middle.
This shirt from MF Pen cost, I want to say like $200 to $250. This Cobalt shirt probably costs like what, like $280?
Yeah, probably a little bit more.
Bale Friendship hat,
free.
$40.
Oh, I don't know. It was free.
Right. Okay. These pants probably like $300.
Damn. Okay.
Probably.
Really?
Hanes boxers, $20 for a 6-pack.
We should start including prices in our fit checks.
J. Crew socks free.
Yeah.
Because I stole them.
Yeah.
Espadrilles.
5-finger discount.
Espadrilles, I think like $200.
Really?
Vintage.
Worth it.
Maybe a little more.
A little pricey. I guess good vintage footwear that's like versus Prada boots, $350 because they were like kind of worn and they're fraying at the the top of the collar.
And these are like a highly coveted item. And this is like a boot.
Yeah. Anyway. Some prices for you, some context.
Okay, so I am fucking sick and tired, and this is not classist, I promise, okay? Stick with beer. This is not anti-poor people, okay?
Good luck.
People in the comments, yo, he's so anti-poor people.
We will not be clipping this out.
Yo, being broke is whack.
Clip that out, actually.
I am sick and tired of guys complaining about the price of clothing. It's like, that is what it costs for brands to make the clothing, sell the clothing, and make a living off of it, right? And continue to make clothing and push their agenda and vision and creative parameters and create things for you. There's this notion that I think because clothing, relative to a lot of things in life, is disposable, is temporary, is like, you put it on, you take it off. You put it on, and then like, you put it on like a month later, you take it off a month later. All these dudes that are complaining about pricing and are like, what's the cheaper version of this? What's the fucking where can I get this for less? How can I get the look for less?
Yeah.
I get it. Fashion might be a relatively new interest of yours where maybe it's just a passing fad for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Maybe the fact that menswear and men's fashion has become such an actual pillar of culture in recent years means that you are new to this and that you weren't like, scraping together your dollars and your cents like we were when we weren't making that much money.
Right.
To like actually purchase a $250 shirt that you're going to cherish and hold on to for, you look in your closet, mine or yours. We still have clothes from like 15, 20 years ago.
Factual.
That we bought when we were fucking broke and held on to because it now has like either significant value or just like good shit that lasts that long.
It lasted because it was worth the money to begin with, honestly, right?
And if you think about other interests that require investment, and like the one I keep going to is like, if you fuck with cars, right? You got to think about clothing similarly, where it's like, I'm going to spend the money on like the good stuff that is going to last a long time. That truly is like, you get what you pay for. You're not going to be like, yo, how can I fucking max out my horsepower so I can Vin Diesel this shit because I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Sure.
Like, what's his name in Fast and Furious? Dom.
Yeah.
DeLilio? No.
It's the author. I don't know.
Dom Diesel?
I'm not a Fast and Furious guy. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm not. I've talked about this before. They don't appeal to me.
Come on, bro.
It's not.
If you're a car guy,
it's not real simple.
if you're a car guy and you're like, yo, I need fucking 4,000 HPs, you're not gonna be like, but I don't, but like, what's like the cheapest way I can get that? Like,
yeah,
I need a new engine, but like, what's like the good engine? But like,
can I get an engine dupe? Can I get a dupe on this?
Yeah, how can I get the horsepower but for less?
Which is funny because I think in the car world, shout out Speed, James Pumphrey. I think that like guys get like you put a more reliable engine in like an older body. So I think that I don't know what that's called. There's definitely a term for that, but I get
Dominic Toretto.
Dom Toretto. Anyway, I think that's a fair analogy, but cars are not, to your point, cars are not seen as disposable, right? And they're kind of seen as like necessary for your everyday life for most people that are not
if you're fucking, Tokyo drifting.
Sure. In this.
Not if you're living your life a quarter mile at a time.
Like Dom Familia.
Yeah. Some guys got to drive more than a quarter mile to get to their job.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like, look, if sports is your thing, like if being good at sports is your interest and investment, like you're going to spend your time and money on like getting stronger, fucking training, supplements, like gear,
equipment,
getting a basketball hoop, hang it on your fucking garage door, buying a basketball. You're not gonna be like, how can I get a it's like, it's gonna be
lower
easier.
the rim.
It's gonna be easier if I hang it up like 6 feet.
Yeah, just make it lower. It'll be cheaper.
So look, if it's new, I understand maybe like pricing is like intimidating and shocking because like the brands that, the throwing fits world we are like pushing forward.
It's all relative.
But I think it's worth the money.
Yeah.
You can fucking go buy like Zara and H&M and Shein and whatever. I think a lot of it is just like the instant gratification around consumption habits and the Amazonification where you can like price sort low to high. You can get one day, same day shipping.
We have poisoned dupe brains.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably not the best example, but remember when like ALD did a New Balance and they're like, okay, we're going to make it pre-order so that everyone that wants one can have one.
Yeah.
And people are fucking pissed. We're like, what do you mean I got to wait 6 months for thousands of sneakers to be made? What the fuck? I didn't fucking sign up. It's like, well, you got it. So it's like, is it that you want it right now or is that you actually see like how this is a good investment and use of your money?
I'm not even going to want this in 6 months. Instagram will have moved on. It's like, again, but so this is, and not to, I guess we are in the rant corner, which preceded, or should be followed the chaos corner. But
we're in the rant room.
Yeah, we're in the rant room. But
we're in the rant ranch.
But you use the term Taurus, and what you're talking about is kind of like, and this I think bears mentioning. You're talking about like the dark glass half empty paradigm, the dichotomy of the Virgil Abloh famous tourist versus purist kind of relationship, because the way that he defined a tourist, and I have this here because I don't want to get it wrong, the framework he used to understand how people approach and interact with art and design. The tourist in his mind was curious, open-minded, and eager to learn. The person you're talking about is a tourist in just that they showed up yesterday. They might not be, they're cheap, closed-minded, and eager to save money.
Okay, I think Virgil used Taurus versus Purist because they kind of rhyme and it like sounds good.
It looks good on a t-shirt.
Like he's like, oh, it's like freshman versus like, I don't know, like professor. Like you're a freshman, you're here to fucking learn. You're here
student
to like,
and teacher.
Eventually ask questions and eventually like, synthesize the information and like contribute. With Taurus, I'm like, it's like, oh, what's over here? Oh, this can look cool. Let me get a fridge magnet. What do you mean it's $250? What the fuck? I just want this fridge magnet. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's $250?
Exit through the gift shop, ass motherfucker.
Exactly.
No, the purist.
They just want like go ahead.
No, the purist though is kind of where you're coming from. This is an expert with a strong sense of tradition and established knowledge. And if we're here as nothing else, it's as purists, as teachers, to hopefully spread a sense of curiosity and an eagerness to learn. And hopefully and I'm going to be sincere for a second. I know we're messing around a bit, but this is a serious topic. I would hope that the show fucking, leans into that for the listenership.
Yeah.
I would hope. I know it's not. I mean, it's like, I would hope that people understand this great piece of marketing is Homage. I would hope that they watched more than 1 second of this clip from the podcast.
They call you the Hope Pope.
Yeah. You're not always going to get what you hope for, clearly. But yeah, it is. I get what you're saying. I mean, my thing is that here's the question. How long will men's fashion continue to be this newer but established bedrock of culture? And if that moment ends, like what we talk about will not change. but the person consuming it, because they're interested in that moment, they might have moved on as well, and we won't have this problem.
Right.
Which I guess would be
baseball cards and Legos.
yeah, dude, card shopping with Joe LaPuma. Did you see that? Premiered today.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, but it's
A24.
It's Fanatics. It's Tom Brady is card shopping. So collectibles, which I guess sneakers kind of weirdly got like folded into. Now there's like, collectible culture has already existed. I don't think it has anything to do with the show, but it's crazy that there now is a piece of complex content with like one of their A-list personalities, shout out Joe the Puma, who's doing a card shopping show.
Yo, where can I get this Tom Brady signed rookie card, but like for cheaper?
Same
shit, right?
It's stamped.
If you want,
it's not actually signed.
Anyway, so I'm not like resentful at people being like, oh, like these guys only talk about rich guy shit. Cause it's like, well, we're not talking about like copying or recommending like $10,000 like Louis jackets, right?
Well, brands like the Row don't help our case because like the whole thing with the Row is like, here's the
$1,000 flip flops.
Yeah, here's a $1,000 flip flop, or here's the
$800 gray tee.
That you can't watch.
What?
That's the whole thing with it because of the material, which maybe makes it. The textile maybe makes it worth $800, but the whole thing is you cannot wash or dry the Row green t-shirt. I was just gonna say like the fucking $1,600 chore jacket where it's like, yeah, like we all know what the reference is, and no, you don't need to buy the exact one that Harry Styles was paparazzi'd wearing. You can just go and get the vintage reference that all these things are presumably for the most part based on. Sure. But it's like, yeah, you got to also put the effort in to do that. I guess that's my thing is when it becomes like laziness where it's like, let me just hit a Reddit or some, forum of menswear nerds and have people just like present the answer versus like not doing any of the work, which again becomes like a criticism also of like gatekeep and / ID culture, which like, I don't want to gatekeep things, but ID ass motherfuckers are annoying. But it's like, as someone who just said the hunt doesn't matter. Like if you see something that you like really want, but you can't afford and you're not going to save up for it. Like it's probably based on a vintage reference, but you gotta probably hit the fucking bricks and like look for that thing and do the hunt. Right. And like might take you some time, but if the time and effort mean that the final purchase is cheaper for you, then like put the work in. And that's like my thing is like, nobody wants to put the work in. That curiosity, that eagerness that Virgil talked about, that's the thing that's like sapped, which is like such a fucking bummer.
The instant payoff.
Yeah.
Like I need to look cool now.
Right. You're literally, I need to look cool. I need to look cool tomorrow. Yeah.
Guys, I needed to look cool yesterday. Yeah. Help me out here.
It's so funny saying
not that much money.
Yeah. It's so funny saying it out loud, but like, that's what it is.
By the way, the t-shirt, the Patty t-shirt, anti-Irish, $1,650. It can only be dry cleaned. Yeah. It comes in black, gray melange, and white.
Wow, dude. Okay, so
they brush the cotton as they normally would with cashmere. That's the fucking.
So we
thing.
Can all laugh at the Row. The Row is here to be fucking laughed at and lampooned, but at the same time, I guess deified because people fucking love them.
Sure.
But like, okay, outside of that extreme example, like, yeah, for the most part, it's like, guys, things cost what they cost for a reason. Within reason,
the market has spoken. All right, ran over. Fucking get your money up, not your funny up.
Broke boys in the back, pipe down. You know the fucking vibes.
If you want to treat it like an interest, you have to invest accordingly. Whether that's your time, your money, your bandwidth. I mean, listening to this podcast for 58 minutes and 47 seconds.
I think what we said was sincere, and what you let all that's sincere and true.
Yeah,
and we're allowed to be in the rant room on it. Okay,
take it serious, boys. Take it fucking seriously. This ain't cars. This ain't baseball cards. Joe LaPuma.
This ain't collectibles. This ain't whip appeal. This is fucking John's enthusiasm. Emphasis on the enthusiasm.
I live my life 1/4 zip at a time.
There he is.
All right, what I want to hear, Lawrence, I don't know if you're ranting and raving, but apparently you spent Mother's Day during with the mommy and the grandmommy on Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
The Knicks got the Knicks got butt fucked at MSG.
Yeah, it was just the thing that it was funny to me is I had.
Can I get a Knicks ticket, but like for cheaper?
Yeah, right. I just had to explain to my mom why on Saturday during her Mother's Day barbecue the Knicks had to be on. And
were you like watching on your phone? Like,
no, I
put a beer commercial.
No, I put it on the fucking TV, dude. And she just like, and Jenna is like a fan of NBA basketball. And obviously the whole city's whipped up into Knicks fever, which was completely like lost on my mom.
Are you a Knicks fan?
Especially this time of year.
You're not
brother.
a Celtics fan?
Fuck no, dude.
You love the Red Sox.
It's just, that's my one weird non-regional fan.
Makes no sense.
I know. And I've told the story
You're
before.
from Jersey. You don't like the fucking 76ers?
It was a contrarian stance that I took when I was very young during some amazing Red Sox teams featuring players that you might have heard of, like Pedro Martinez, Nomar Garciaparra, and
Kevin
Ramirez.
Millar.
Yeah, honestly.
Trying to name other white Red Sox
Big
players.
Papi. Oh, you white. I named like no white guys. Nomar Garciaparra is not even white, is he?
You like Noma?
I love Nomar.
He wasn't even part of the good teams.
No, but because of those teams that like beat the Cleveland Indians at the time in like 99, that was when I was really getting into it when I was younger. So that set the stage for the teams that broke the curse multiple times. Anyway, so I'm trying to explain to my mom like the context of why like this game needs to be on. And while the city is caught up in this amazing collective fever, like to the point where like going out and watching the game as a communal like experience is like such a joy and it's such an amazing, and shout out to this Knicks team, such a way to like kick off the season, right? Am I not wrong? What a fucking thing
kick off
to
the
do.
Postseason.
No, to kick off this like spring and summer, like the fact that going to the bar and watching with fans of all ilk, but everyone just like communal team, communal goal. I think it's great. But having to explain this context to my mom, an older woman who like doesn't know anything about sports and like trying to explain this on Mother's Day. I was like trying to explain like this game at which they lost game 3. It was honestly a terrible game, but like trying to explain the significance of this being like the biggest game at MSG in like, I don't know, fucking quarter of a century, like just completely like
the most expensive Knicks game of all time.
And then having to explain how the playoffs work, what playoffs are. Like, I'm like, wow, my mom really knows nothing about sports.
I think she was just trying to talk to her son on Mother's Day.
No, I really think she doesn't know. And I was more than happy to oblige her. I was breaking it all down. The mansplaining for me on Mother's Day was actually, ironically, at an all-time high. And it's funny, for a woman who knows nothing about professional sports, we played cornhole and she dusted everyone. It was
really?
And it was not like anyone was like letting her.
Even you?
Bro.
How many beers?
4?
Oh,
I've been keeping it real. It's just, we got to a point with my dad where I'm like, I don't want to ruin this poor man's life. Like, I just want to, I can have
more.
Yeah, more than I already have for 38 years. So shout out to my mom for dusting everyone in cornhole. Are
you terrible at cornhole when you're sober?
I'm definitely not as good as when I'm buzzed. I'll tell you that. And then the other thing that the mansplaining continued is I went and then visited my grandmother on the way home back to the city. Grandma Michael, and I was visiting her because it's also Mother's Day as well. And I found myself in a situation where I had to explain the concept of Keith McNally, which was also really funny because we were just talking about what are you reading? And I'm currently reading the memoir.
Speaking of fucking performative, I walk in here and you're reading a book, and I'm like, I know you heard me like walk in the door.
Was I a vibe, bro?
You're such a fucking vibe.
There it is. No, I mean,
I was like, is that like an instruction manual for like your computer? What the hell is that?
Do you have a copy and are you reading it?
No. Are
you planning on reading it?
I feel like I've like already gotten what I need out of it from just like
the excerpts and the Instagram
excerpts and him and just the press around it. And
yeah, my 100-year-old grandmother knew what Balthazar was, which
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but also like she's a cultured woman who like spent a lot of time in the city, went to NYU. Obviously, this is before Keith McNally was probably fucking born, presumably. But just trying to explain the concept of like, well, he's like the people's champ on Instagram and is like friends with Woody Allen,
but he had sex with that playwright.
Yeah, and is like a bi-curious king. It was just hilarious because she was and this is all from a very innocuous like, hey, what are you reading? Because my grandmother,
Did she always ask you what you're reading, and was this the first time you had an answer?
No, usually probably lie. I'll probably like lie and just
still
mention.
On Heat 2, Grandma.
Yes, once Heat 2. But that was also a thing where I'm like, how do I explain the appeal of Keith McNally? With that said, I was reading it because to me, this is a hard one to put down. I'm not a voracious reader. Everyone at home knows I can read for a fact. And the book is a fucking page turner. I am at the part where he's navigating his homosexual relationship with the playwright Alan Bennett.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is, I guess, something that I guess he had never talked about before until now, where he's putting it all out there. I think the book is fascinating, and whether or not the Keith McNally glazing is crazy and your inclination is to be contrarian in that regard, I find him to be fascinating and just straight up like such a cool New Yorker that I think the book delivers and is an easy read. And I think he's an easy, I wouldn't say he's like a great writer, but he's a writer that makes it very easy on the reader in terms of the breezy prose. So
I mean, if he's got you enraptured, then you know it's good.
that's kind of like the proof is in the pudding there. The fact that I'm actually reading, didn't bring headphones on the train. I'm reading it on the train, which
you can listen to music while you.
My ADD, I cannot focus. You gotta pick your battles.
Do you have
here.
people be like, yo, they're like,
Well, I was afraid of that because
what's up, brother? Yeah.
no.
Another McNally head.
I'm not trying to be a vibe to like go back to that meme, but I am self-conscious.
How many pages is it?
I don't know. I'm on page 60 out of what is I started reading it this morning.
Oh, I thought you were reading it like at your grandmother's fucking place.
No, we were just talking, just catching up and, again, trying to explain why Keith McNally is dope to my like he's like this goated, like the New York Times said he's like the restaurateur that invented downtown. My grandma's like I'm going to die and this is what I don't want to spend my last moments talking about.
He's a quirked up white boy.
He really is. You watched Knicks game 2 at a bar, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to get a story.
Obviously, Knicks fever is in full effect.
Yeah.
Game 2 Wednesday night last week when they pull out another miracle.
Crazy.
At TD Arena? What's the name of the fucking
TD Garden?
TD Garden,
I believe. Formerly the Boston Garden.
Yeah, watch it at Roebling Sports Club with Dick Sucking Ron because it's like one of the only sports bars in Williamsburg, and also it's like halfway between like where I'm in Greenpoint, where he is in Williamsburg. So he shows up there early, like 6:30, gets us 2 primetime seats at the bar.
Real hero. Honestly.
Yeah. They have Guinness. I don't know how they pour. They were like everyone's drinking Guinness.
Were you?
No. I was
Very
drinking-
Celtics coated beer, honestly.
I started with the Coors Light, one of my favorite.
You love Coors Light, dude.
Jumping up the rankings.
That's
of shitty domestic beers.
That's so crazy. Is it because you can have twice as many as a bud?
Twice as what?
Twice as many as a bud while still like keeping your facilities about you?
It just is like beery water, bro. And sometimes I just want to drink piss, So I'm drinking some piss. The mountains are blue. So I'm drinking some blue
The
piss.
piss is blue.
And I switched to Budweiser.
Thank you for your service.
Pretty quickly
truly.
after, but sometimes you just got to diversify your portfolio, diversify your holdings. 2 things happened. One, I mean, watching it in like the context of a bar when like the underdogs fucking pull a miracle out their ass is incredible. Down 20 again. I put money on the Knicks when they're down 20.
Oh, bro, you must have come. I mean, I don't know how big your bet was, but you must have come up.
I bet $5 and I won $60. I should have bet $50,000.
Yes, you should have. That's usually,
now I know for next time.
That's how gambler brand works.
Yeah.
That worked out real well in game 3.
Yeah. Shout out Paul Pierce. And there's a table of Boston fans behind us, and there was a great moment when we were getting fucking spanked. Somebody, I forget who, on the Knicks shot an air ball, and they're like, air ball. On the very next possession, Boston shoots an air ball, and I just turn to them and go, air ball.
Just right in their fucking face.
They're like, respect. That was pretty good. Yeah. And then Boston shot another air ball, and I turned to them, and I don't say anything, and they were just like, okay, that was fucking.
You were sunning them by being the bigger man.
I started trying a fuck Dave Portnoy.
Come on, man.
When the Knicks won. Because he's a Boston.
I know. Did it catch on?
No, it didn't. No.
Yeah, it's because come on, bro. If you go against the king, you can't miss, bro.
At the end, they were like, yo, please don't talk about us on the podcast or I'll kill myself. And I was like, how about this?
Wait, the airball guys are throw gang.
Yeah. Or they recognize me. And then I was if you kill yourself right now, I promise I won't talk about it on pod.
If you commit seppuku in the middle of fucking Roebling Sports Bar,
if you choke on that chicken bone and fucking die right now, or like smash a pint glass and stab yourself in the neck, I won't talk about it on podcast. But
what are they embarrassed of just being the average Bostonian? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, getting fucking blowing it so hard.
Oh, I just thought you meant like the airball kind of flub where they open up the floodgates to then get sunk.
As Boston fans, you just fucking shit in the bed so bad. But so that was like the rosebud of my experience. The thorn was our boy Brandon Mahler was like, yo, on our group chat was like, yo, there's a guy that looks like James at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
He legit did not know it was me. We later like saw each other. I said, is his fit hard? He says no. And
I thought this was all
I'm like, LOL. But then when we see each other later, I'm like, bro, that was me. And you sincerely thought my fit was trash.
It can't be James. There's no way. This fit is such ass.
And what's funny is that when I was like getting ready to go to the sports bar, I was like, let me wear the sports bar fit. I'm not going to try and fucking put on.
You're self-conscious of the fit.
Well, I was like, let me put on a Knicks t-shirt that I caught like that they like handed out for free at the Garden like many years ago.
I'm familiar with this.
There's like
with this
MSC
t-shirt.
Cruises on the back. It's blue, has like a big fucking Knicks basketball logo here. Let me wear, I don't know, some hat and just jeans and some mules. And
you just dress like an average Williams.
Just some Kiko mules.
Right. Nothing to see here.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, fuck, I didn't see your vintage Yoji Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Oh, the Yoji jacket. I was like, damn, I actually did get clowned at the bar by the fashion homie for wearing, who's with like some Drake's guys, who was, for wearing the sports bar fit. So it's like, you can't fucking win, bro.
Well, but that's the whole point of the sports bar fit is to like blend in and not like make
not be conspicuous.
It's about the Knicks.
I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
I'm just being a guy. I'm just trying to be a guy.
This is about the Nova Knicks. This is about Captain Clutch. This is about Tibbs. This is not about me. I'm not making it about me. And yet you weirdly got like, what's the term for that? You got like wrongly ID'd, but rightfully.
Maybe you can never escape the fashion mafia.
The fashion police are fucking. We live in a fashion police state of which
the fascist fashion police
of which fucking Brandon Mahler is fucking big brother
Chief Commissioner
from 1984. Dude.
He's Commissioner Gord. Put that shit on.
As I was watching this happen in real time on the chat, I'm like, this is either like a bit or like Brandon is low-key being racist. He just saw like another fucking half Asian guy and was like, oh, is that James? Whatever. And it's crazy to think that this actually happened. Yeah. Where he for us however long you saw you, I'm assuming like from outside through the window or whatever, right?
He was outside because like they do TVs outside, so it's nice that you can watch outside. And I was inside at the bar, and you just saw like the back of my head, and he's like, oh, but like maybe because he has an earring and the diamonds are dancing, maybe he hit the fucking.
Yeah, that was it, dude. That was definitely
like, maybe that is James. And then like he went to
maybe it's not a broke boy.
He went to the bathroom. We were just like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's fucking. That's very funny. But I will say it's like alternate reality, you as just the average Williamsburg guy, which would be like maybe like fly, but inconspicuous footwear, like a decent pair of jeans, and then just like fucking, team paraphernalia. That's like just what you were just a fucking guy.
I was just trying to be normal, and I disappointed my fashion friends when if I had tried to be a fashion bro, I would have disappointed my normal friends.
You might have gotten hate crimes by the Bostonians.
You can't fucking please them all.
Yeah, better to disappoint the fashion homie than get hate crimes by the Bostonians.
And I got the next day I got my fit clowned on, which I guess we talked about this in the afters, but I attended this like party at the Guggenheim, where the dress code was Cosmic Core,
which we talk about later this week. Yeah. What did you end up wearing?
Okay, so
let's go through fit check number 2.
All right, so I ended up wearing these like kind of like beige white Bianca Saunders Echo Collective square-toed fucking crazy looking like loafers.
Okay,
that have like a sock in the middle. They're really ugly. I've never really worn them.
They sound fucking interplanetary.
But I was like, oh, these look like lunar.
Never worn before.
Definitely worn, but like never. I don't know if I ever worn them. Kind of like lunar moon booty, whatever. Definitely booty. Then just a
literal ass.
Yeah. Then just Our Legacy Workshop made in England, double-breasted
suit,
navy blue suit. The shirt also OL. It was kind of this like shiny purple, like night sky, like
Cosmic Core,
a little sheer.
Yeah. Tie?
No tie.
Okay.
And and a white belt from Emma Penn that kind of matched the lunar loafers.
Here's the question: for the most part, were you over or underdressed, or did you kind of nail the theme in terms of like just like high endedness?
Before going to the gala, I went to dinner with at Bridges. It was phenomenal as always. And then I'm standing outside, and me and my friend Christian that we were gonna get that I had dinner with, we were gonna get just a nightcap because I had to kill time before the start of the thing. Get a nightcap at Bar Oliver down the street, and this was like a fashion boy fit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And like being fucking down in that area, that end of town, I definitely was like dressed appropriately, even though it was like a suit, but with like weird fucking gross white
as gay as
loafers
possible.
and like a sheer silk purple shirt. So much so that somebody outside of Bridges is like, "Are you James?"
Oh, because of the fit.
And I was like,
Presumably.
"Hi." And she's like, "Yeah, we're on an email together. I work at this really cool running brand, Literary Sport."
Oh, I'm familiar. Yeah.
I think she's the creative director.
What's her name? Yeah, she's
Her
great.
name's Jackie. And then
Jackie McGowan.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was with another person that I'm mixing up like what their roles are exactly at the brand. Fran, who does F. Miller Skincare.
Mm-hmm.
One's like the creative director, and I don't know if it's like they're both like creative director / marketing, and then the other's like just like designer. But these two fucking cool chicks that were just like, they were like, and then they joined us. We went and had a drink together, and
nice.
What?
That's nice.
Yeah, and we like just fucking talked about the brand. They're like, yeah, basically it's a brand for like runners who smoke. That's like the vibe of the brand. I was like, that's fucking perfect.
Just clip that out for the pod. That'll go well.
So I felt at Bar Oliver where it's like all fucking fashion people like running into homies and blah blah and being like, yo, I love your Instagram, I love your podcast. Felt right there.
The emptiest platitudes of all time.
I felt correctly dressed there. Like the dress code, what like my cosmic core fit like worked at like the hot new restaurant and like the fashion person bar. Drinking fucking vermouth and soda. Oh, they had Spanish beer. They had Mahau.
Okay.
Great fucking beer.
I'm familiar.
Then I go to the Guggenheim and I walk into line and the security guard, obviously just like poking fun, whatever. She's like, this shit isn't Cosmic Core. And I'm like, come on.
What the fuck?
I was like, just let me in.
Damn.
She's like, damn, you did not adhere to the dress code.
Really?
So like, even though she's joking, having fun, I'm a little like, oh, fuck.
It's not what you want to hear before you
self-conscious.
like cross over the threshold into the fucking interplanetary party.
Yeah. And look, there were some people that were like on one with the dress code. A lot of people just like whatever, regular.
They thought it was the Met Gala.
Guys in suits, girls in dresses. Some people definitely like sparkly. A lot of sequins. One dude had I think a Skipperelli, just like gold plated like chest plate, a gold chest plate.
Nice, dude. I mean, if you have the gold Skipperelli chest plate, there's only a few functions you can break it out at.
Not really Cosmic Core though.
I mean, it's still like
more like Grecian orgy.
But you're still
Grecian orgy.
We're still doing a thing at the Guggenheim, right? I get it
For sure.
For the most part, I understand where bro is coming from.
Right. So like, unfortunately, the shirt, because especially with the jacket on, it was too dark where you couldn't really see like the purple night sky sheen to it. So I get it.
You
Whatever.
need the lighting specs before you get dressed.
Yeah, I'm like holding my iPhone camera up to it. Like,
oh wait, was my flashlight on? I had no idea.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna hold it against the security guard, but yo, art people, because like we go to fucking fashion parties, right? I feel like we don't go to that many art parties.
I don't go to none.
There's absolutely crossover. Like ran into some homies there.
Yeah.
Art people though, bro.
Yeah.
There's some fucking kooks at these art
some
parties.
Creatures.
Some like obviously fashion parties, the same thing, but narcissists that are like, oh, I'm gonna like really go for it, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking DIY some sort of like headpiece.
They're trying to be somebody's muse.
I'm gonna wear the fucking necktie that lights up. That is so on brand with like planetary systems and shit.
It's weird how the artsiest people that think they're like being so unique are weirdly, it's like a horseshoe theory, or like just like a light up tie makes me think of like what like your worst uncle would wear during Christmas. Yeah. Like it's literally you come back around. It's like you're actually like the corniest, most basic person at the function, but you think you're gonna be somebody's muse. As I said,
I for sure think that just comparing art party to like fashion party people, like so many annoying people at fashion people parties.
Yeah,
fine, that's a given, and like the stereotypes are true. It's like narcissist, fucking mean girls, clout chasers, like too cool for schoolers.
Oh yeah,
people that are like performatively smoking cigs, not anti-cig.
The geezer in the corner not loving.
Yeah, and the art party people that were like trying to like be guys and like be girls. It's like, fucking relax, you neurodivergent narcissist. Like, look at me.
Theater kid energy.
Very theater kid.
Which you don't really have in fashion, because the baseline of fashion is like you'd rather be, and more people are, like you said, too cool for school than like this. Look at me, exuberant, out of control theater kid energy.
Yeah. So that's all. And then also like, I think that there's also like a lot more money in art, or like, it's like, it can be more concentrated. So a lot of art bros, I guess that's like a fucking
Pussy
thing now.
Patrol.
No, like on Money Patrol and Pussy Patrol.
Or they're like the +1 with like the chick that's half their age that they're like, oh, sure, I'll go with you.
There's older guys, but I'm talking about like guys like in their 20s, in their 30s that are just like, yo, I'm here to fucking always be closing and like, funnel money and launder money for like, the Saudi prince that, murdered a journalist or whatever.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's kind of like the cost of doing business, I think, in the art world, especially today more than ever. The art bro, and those guys also stick out as much as the fucking theater kid, right? Because they're like, what are they wearing? Like
they're just so straight. They're just straight dudes wearing suits that like at a fashion party like stick out. Yeah. Right. If you're just wearing like a pretty straightforward like suit and tie at a fashion party, at an art party, like you stick out. And it's like, oh look, it's the fashion bro. Oh look, it's the art bro.
As a pejorative.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Coming from us.
I wonder how many times that's been levied like at me when I've been like at a fashion party because I was invited. I wonder if there's like
1,000%.
It's fun. Look at this guy who doesn't belong here.
You know what you got to do? You got to start dressing like a heady boy,
bro. Okay. All right? Let's talk heady boy. Is this a real trend or is this a fake trend, hyper trend du jour?
It's not a real trend because no trends are real.
Okay, got it.
So it is the latest fake trend that like there's been 5 examples of it. Like you have a Muse, The Help, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Shout out The Help.
There's a high sobriety headline.
Right. This is how trend is created.
Yeah. You have Source.
Fake headline.
Source, which is heavily referenced or based on something that happened 10 to 20 years ago.
Sure.
Fake headline. That's always poses a question, right?
Are heady boys back?
Are heady boys a thing now?
A street interview with the actual heady boy.
Yep. Then you have like 6 to 40 dudes that do it. Yeah. Like, that's gonna be my thing now.
Yeah. Couple Zood boards, probably of like heady runway collections, right?
Oh yeah. A few a few product pieces popping up on the real.
Okay, sure.
Like, oh shit,
shoppable shit.
Look at these Celine boots. Yeah,
because we gotta make money. If nothing else, we gotta make some money off these heady boys.
What's funny is that it's I guess right now it's like popping off in the UK,
right?
Even though like the homies at the Help, like they're LA boys.
Yeah,
right?
I guess they must have big streaming numbers over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
they're probably more. They're clearly like bubbling. Shout out Chandler and Noah, but I feel like when I don't know. I guess they've toured Europe. I don't know. I'll have to tap in with the little homie Chandler and find out. But
do you think? Okay, so what do you think? Do you think that it's like weirdly started in the US with like the Help kind of referencing like indie sleaze and like that era?
Definitely an extension of indie sleaze.
And then it hopped across. It skipped over New York because like it didn't really happen here. Hit London and is now coming to New York.
It's a weird like domestic. It's the domestic import, right? Because it like starts here, goes there, then comes back. I mean, I know some. You laughed at me when I mentioned this a couple weeks ago when we were throwing heady boys on the fitties, but like, because I said, I know some young. I said I have some young homies. What did I say? I said something super pause-worthy, but I know some guys that are in New York that are cool that I fuck with that are heady boys. It's my boy Noah's friends, not Noah from the Help, Nostalgia, who's an artist, and those guys are all. Because what's interesting about the heady boy is that for me, a lot of this is like a physical manifestation and aesthetic manifestation of like other superficial trends that are happening, like Skinner boys, right? This like skinny, emaciated guy that's like a sex symbol. So you have these like guys that maybe have that look or that body type or are aspiring to it and are like, this is like the final seasoning to throw on the Skinner boy look, like your pair of Dior Homme jeans or your Celine leather jacket. All these guys like actually like have like the heady boy to me has to have like a job as like he has to be a musician or like a maker, like some of these dudes like make stuff like they're
or like a fashion student.
Yeah, or like the fashion student. And like what's weird about the UK guys that are heady boys that are being served to me is that they're like all like faking that. So maybe they are students that like can't play an instrument. They're not actually handsome or I guess the meme is tall enough to be a model, and they're not like actually in bands, but they just want to like look like they are to make them interesting and then give them a personality and to get pussy. Or like those are the UK guys, and this is all just speculation because I don't know any of them personally, versus the guys I know in New York who are pulling off, in my opinion, this look, I'm biased, all like do that shit for real, like are actually like part of the culture where like the heady boy uniform is like still very much a thing. So it's like, to me, it's like that's the real shit versus like the faking it that's happening overseas. But again, I don't know any British heady boys besides what's being served to me on my For You page. So
is there such a thing as faking it in a trend? Like, isn't that kind of,
if you are dressed like a rock star and you are not in a band and you wear leather jackets, but you don't make leather jackets.
But a trend can't exist if only rock stars are doing it. And like,
well, it's where it starts. It's the tip of the spear, right? That's where it trickles down from. The actual fucking.
Yeah,
doors.
it has to dissipate down.
Yeah, I guess we're seeing the dissipation,
dripitation,
the trickle down driponomics. There it is, of the 60 guys that are just fake ass fashion students with no future in Britain that are like spending all of their, parents, like the stipend from the parents on like archive Celine and archive Saint Laurent.
I don't know. It's to me, it's just like, it's such a fucking, it is not an homage. It is a ripoff.
Oh, for a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy.
A palimpsest, if you will, where it really is like one for one.
Yeah.
Where it's not, it feels like
not an interpretation.
And it's not like an evolution of like the original source or like the original muse. It's a
ripoff, not an homage.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's a ripoff of an homage.
Honestly, you're not wrong, right? Right now, Eddie's just referencing a whole nother era.
We talked about the form, ABCs of what you need for a trend to exist. Here's like, okay, this is what you need. This is what you need to like get the look, right? The boots, the jeans, the leather jacket, the haircut, the fucking silver jewels,
the waist size,
and like that's it. And you can just buy all that shit.
Do you think this is also an extension from like Chrome Hearts having this huge extended moment? Because this is like a Chrome adjacent rocker, biker-ish, type of thing. Like that's gotta be. I mean,
I don't think so, because I don't think that what's prevalent in the Chrome explosion that we've seen skews rocker.
Not all Chrome guys are also heady boys, but I feel like heady boys, like Chrome jewelry, is like definitely, I feel like part of it. At least it was at one point.
I think there was like when Chrome first started like going crazy in like more mainstream culture, and especially with rappers who are like the trendsetters of culture, there was a little moment where it was like,
they're the
rappers are the new rock stars.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, I'm seeing at Madison Square Garden a month. Can't fucking wait.
Sick.
Night of the Carter 6 dropping. He was like, yeah, I'm a rock star, right? He's skinny jeans, fucking silver jewels, Chrome Hearts, whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
The only thing I do know is that if there ever was a more obvious kind of red or green flag, depending on what side of the fucking fence you're on, that Eddie is due for like a real name brand kind of launch, because obviously he's unemployed currently.
But would he
I think that there is, if this is the start, even if these guys are posers and carbon copies of carbon copies of carbon copies, there is some groundswell that for sure part of it is fake that is happening, that makes it seem like bro is poised to not take a job now that the Chanel job is off the table. Like there's nowhere for him to go up in terms of prestigious hires at houses. It is time for the Eddie Slimane, namesake to titular fucking brand launch.
And then so a bunch of kids would be like, that's too expensive.
Yes, exactly. Yo, where can I get the fucking dupe?
Get the heady look for less.
Get truck fit. Buy some truck fit.
So funny. His name is Slim Mane.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, dude, it's perfect. The joke's just right themselves.
He's Slim Mane. Yeah, but would you think he would be designing like exactly what
he has one? He has one mode. I know he made some wider fucking silhouettes or bigger silhouettes, whatever, wider pants at Celine. But what he is known for is, I think, pretty fucking bullseye to what is coming back for 60 plus guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if when he puts his name on it, then it actually becomes a cultural pillar. He has that kind of
customers.
power.
All you need is 60 customers. If they're giving you all their money, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Maybe not to live the slim mane lifestyle, but like,
yeah. I mean,
he keeps his slim mane
in a complete vacuum outside of like me knowing a guy who I think is like cool, who has a bright future, who does that look. If I just see it without any context, I'm like, this is such a fucking bozo look. It's so bad. And listen, I know that's rich coming from me, and I'm happy if you have a fucking size 29 waist. That's good for you. There's part of me that wish I could do it too, but I can't. So maybe I'm hating from outside the fucking Weight Watchers. But either way, like if I see that look on the street, bro, and I don't know anything about you, I'm like, you are a fucking mark.
Yeah, let's make a trend of thick boys.
Fat boy season.
All right. Let's see whether Heady Boys is
it's on the fitties,
a
dude.
trend or not. Remains to be seen.
We're starved for trends, bro.
So are they. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for more Heady Boy talk. The only podcast that matters. Chef, take us out.